In a world where loud voices and dramatic actions often dominate the narrative, there lies a unique and powerful force that doesn't require noise to make an impact. The Chosen One understands that true power isn't about making a scene or asserting dominance with grand gestures. Instead, it is about the ability to walk away with your dignity intact, leaving a trail of silence that speaks louder than any outburst ever could. You've walked this path quietly, intentionally, and the universe has taken notice. There was no loud farewell, no confrontation that stirred the air, no calls for attention or recognition. Instead, you made one calculated move, and that move, unspoken yet undeniable, shifted the entire dynamic. You chose the path of restraint, not because you lacked strength, but because you understood that your power lay in your ability to remain composed. You understood that sometimes, in order to break free from the cycles that bind you, you must stop participating in the game entirely. And in doing so, you exposed the very foundation of those who thought they controlled the rules. This isn't just any story, it's your story. A story of recognition, of awareness, of silent victory. The moment you walked away, you broke the script they had written for you. They had imagined you bound to them emotionally, mentally, or otherwise, but you saw through their game. You understood the rules, the patterns, and the illusions that were designed to trap you. And you chose to break free without a single word, without a single dramatic gesture. Your exit wasn't a sign of weakness. It was the final checkmate in a game that was over before they even realized it. For them, it was supposed to be a simple game. They believed they had you figured out. They believed they could manipulate you, control you, because they never thought you would see through the facade. But the truth is, you were always the one in control, and they were playing a game of their own making, unaware that you had already read the playbook. You didn't play by their rules, you simply stopped participating in a game that was rigged from the start. And when you did, the universe gave you its standing ovation. It recognized your strength, your clarity, and the fact that you had the courage to break free from what no longer served you. This moment, this awakening, is exactly why you are the Chosen One. It wasn't about them, it was always about you. You've realized that the power doesn't lie in what others try to impose on you. The power lies in your ability to see the truth, to remain calm in the chaos, and to take control of your own path. It wasn't about revenge, it wasn't about proving them wrong, it was simply about stepping into your own power and allowing the universe to do the rest. It's the kind of power that doesn't scream for attention, but quietly commands respect. It's the kind of power that shifts the energy around you, making everything fall into alignment without you having to force it. The world may have expected you to react, to fight back, to create chaos, but instead you did something far more powerful. You stood still. You remained calm, composed, and unwavering in your truth. And when they realized they had lost control, that's when the real shift occurred. They thought they could manipulate you, that they could twist the situation in their favor. But they never anticipated that you would see through them completely. They never saw it coming, and now they're left with a haunting memory of the moment they lost control. And that's when the real power was revealed. The universe began to shift in your favor, recognizing your strength and your clarity, and rewarding you for stepping away from what no longer served you. Your exit wasn't just a physical absence, it was a metaphysical statement. It was a declaration that you were no longer playing by their rules, no longer allowing them to control the narrative. And in doing so, you exposed their false sense of control. You didn't need to yell, to argue, or to fight back. You simply stopped engaging, and that was more devastating than any confrontation could have been. You were the calm amidst their chaos, the clarity that shattered their illusions, and the reminder that they had lost control the moment you decided to walk away. In the silence that followed your departure, the truth began to emerge. They were left with nothing but their own insecurity, their own fear, and their own regret. They were forced to face the truth they had been avoiding, that you were never beneath them, that they had misjudged you from the start. And now, as they replay the moments leading up to your departure, they are left questioning themselves. How did you see through them so easily? How did you know the game was rigged? And most haunting of all, how did you walk away without hesitation, without needing validation or closure? These are the questions that echo in their minds, relentlessly pulling them into a cycle of doubt and self-examination. And this is where the universe intervenes. It is not by coincidence that you were able to see through the illusions they built. It is not by chance that you were able to walk away with your integrity intact while they remained trapped in their own delusion. This is the moment of divine alignment when your awareness, your silence, and your restraint converge to create a ripple effect that echoes through time. The universe rewards those who understand that true power lies in awareness. You didn't react emotionally, you didn't feed their egos, and you didn't give in to the chaos. You stood firm in your truth, and in doing so, the universe recognized your strength and gave you the standing ovation you truly deserve. You are not just a person to them. You are a moment, a lesson, a psychological scar that they will never be able to erase. And that is why they can never forget you. Your absence isn't a void, it is a loud, unmistakable reminder of the moment they lost control. You are the proof that their tactics don't work on everyone. You are the lesson they never wanted to learn, and the scar that will remain long after they try to move on. This is your moment, chosen one. The universe has recognized your strength, your clarity, and your ability to rise above the chaos. Your checkmate may have been silent, but it was powerful. And now the world will never be the same for those who thought they could control you. They may try to forget you, but they never will. Because you are the lesson they can't escape. In any relationship, situation, or encounter, there are power dynamics at play, visible or hidden, overt or subtle. The chosen one has learned to recognize these dynamics not by force, but through awareness. Before the others even realized it, the chosen one had already seen the game for what it truly was. It wasn't about the show of strength, the loud displays of dominance, or the grand gestures that others often use to establish control. No, the chosen one understood that true power lies in perception, in the ability to see the game, read the players, and wait for the perfect moment to make the decisive move. While the other party was caught up in their manipulative tactics, convinced they had control, the chosen one remained calm, quiet, and observant. They didn't jump into the drama, they didn't play by the rules that had been set. Instead, they waited, studying the patterns, the reactions, the inconsistencies in the other person's actions. They understood the underlying game, the subtle manipulations, the emotional pulls, the tactics that others often use to make people feel small or uncertain. The chosen one was different. They didn't feel the need to prove anything because they knew they had already won the moment they stepped back from the chaos. This ability to remain still in the face of external pressure is what separates the chosen one from the rest. They understood that the real game wasn't about reacting to the distractions thrown their way. It was about controlling the reaction, mastering their own energy, and understanding that silence is sometimes the most powerful response of all. They knew that as long as they stayed calm, as long as they observed, they would hold all the cards. Others believed they were controlling the situation, but the chosen one was not a player in the game, they were the master of the game itself. It was never about outmaneuvering the others in a show of strength or confrontation. Instead, the chosen one understood the deep, profound truth. He who controls the space controls the game. They had already seen the patterns and understood that true power is not in engagement but in distance. They were able to see that those who seemed to hold the power were only maintaining an illusion, and once the chosen one stopped feeding into that illusion, it began to crumble. The game which others thought they controlled was already lost. As the chosen one observed the unfolding events, they became acutely aware of how the dynamics of power were woven. The manipulator relied on keeping others in a constant state of uncertainty, confusion, and dependency. The chosen one, however, stood outside of that, free from the invisible chains others were bound to. While they weren't playing the game, they were studying it. And in that study, they found the moment of weakness, the point where their departure would be the final blow to the illusion of control. They understood the precise moment when the tables would turn, and when the manipulator's false sense of superiority would be shattered without a single word of confrontation. The moment of departure. True power isn't about loudly announcing one's departure or making a dramatic exit. In fact, the most potent kind of power is the one that leaves others questioning what happened, wondering why it all fell apart. The chosen one's departure was a quiet one, but it was a force that reverberated through the very fabric of the game. By simply choosing to step away, they delivered a blow to the manipulator that no argument, no confrontation, no dramatic gesture could ever have achieved. There's an inherent power in silence. When the chosen one walked away, they did so without fanfare, without noise, and most importantly, without the need for validation. The manipulator, accustomed to being the center of attention and in control, could never have anticipated the force of the chosen one's absence. The silence was deafening because it was so profound. It wasn't a rejection in the traditional sense. It wasn't loud or brash. It was an acknowledgement that the chosen one had outgrown the situation and had chosen to move on without further engagement. In that quiet departure, the chosen one didn't just leave. They shifted the balance of power completely. The manipulator who once thought they had all the control was now faced with the cold truth. The chosen one was never part of their narrative in the way they thought. They had been operating under the false assumption that they were the ones driving the situation, when in reality, the chosen one had been observing it all along, knowing the exact moment to remove themselves from the equation. This quiet departure is what makes it so powerful. It isn't noisy, it isn't dramatic, but it is a statement in itself. It's a statement that the chosen one is not a pawn to be moved in someone else's game. It's a realization that they no longer needed to play the part others had written for them. And in that silence, in that absence, the manipulator is left to grapple with the questions they can never answer. Why did the chosen one leave? Why didn't they react? Why didn't they try to fight? Why didn't they beg for closure or validation? The moment of departure becomes the moment the manipulator loses control. The silence from the chosen one speaks volumes not just to the manipulator but to everyone around them. It's a clear message that they are no longer engaged, no longer under the influence of someone else's script. The game in that instant is over. Breaking the illusion, the true art of quiet checkmate, lies in the ability to expose the illusion without ever confronting it directly. The manipulator believed they controlled the situation because they controlled the narrative. They created a world where they were in charge, where their actions went unchallenged, and where they were always one step ahead. But the chosen one, by simply walking away, shattered that illusion without a single word. The absence of the chosen one's participation exposes the false power that the manipulator thought they had. When the chosen one removed themselves, they didn't just step out of the game, they pulled back the curtain and revealed the machinery behind the illusion. The manipulator was no longer able to hide behind their actions. The truth of their tactics, manipulation, control, and emotional games became undeniable the moment the chosen one stopped playing along. What's crucial to understand here is that the manipulator's power was never real. It was built on the dependency of others on keeping people in a constant state of confusion or need. The chosen one's absence took that away. It didn't just remove them from the equation. It exposed how fragile the manipulator's control truly was. When the chosen one left, they left nothing but the echo of what had once been an empty space where control used to reside. This is the power of absence. When the chosen one walked away, they didn't need to explain anything. They didn't need to create drama or get emotional. They simply stopped feeding the manipulator's need for validation. They took away the very thing that kept the manipulator's illusion of power intact. And in that moment, everything changed. The manipulator was left standing alone, unable to fill the void that the chosen one's absence had created. The absence itself became a weapon, breaking down everything the manipulator had worked so hard to build. The illusion crumbled because the chosen one no longer allowed themselves to be part of it. They didn't challenge the manipulator, they exposed them by simply walking away. And in doing so, they shattered the false sense of superiority the manipulator had relied on to keep their power. The manipulator's world, built on control and manipulation, was exposed for what it truly was, an illusion. And once the illusion is broken, there's no going back. Psychological impact on the adversary. The true impact of the chosen one's absence is felt deeply by the manipulator. The mind, when faced with the loss of control, can't simply move on. The manipulator may try to rationalize the situation. may try to create narratives that fit their ego, but deep down they know the truth. They lost. And what makes it even more devastating is that they lost without ever seeing it coming. The mind of the manipulator constantly replays the moments leading up to the departure. They look for signs, they missed moments, they misunderstood any clue that might have warned them. But there is no warning. There was no confrontation, no emotional explosion. There was only silence. And that silence haunts them because it represents something they can't control, something they can't manipulate or rewrite. The Chosen One's departure isn't just a physical absence, it becomes a psychological presence in the mind of the manipulator. They replay every moment, every conversation, every interaction, trying to piece together where they went wrong. And no matter how much they try to rewrite the story, they always come back to the same conclusion: they misjudged the Chosen One. They thought they had control, but in reality, they were always playing a losing game. This psychological impact is what makes the Chosen One's exit so powerful. The manipulator can never truly move on because they are haunted by the question, how did they see it before I did? The moment they realize that the Chosen One was always ahead of them, always in control of their own path, is the moment their world begins to unravel. And that unraveling continues long after the Chosen One has left. It's a haunting that never stops, a realization that never fades. The absence of the Chosen One doesn't just remove them from the manipulator's life, it leaves a psychological scar. A scar that reminds the manipulator every day that they were outsmarted, outgrown, and ultimately defeated. And that, more than anything, is why they can never forget the Chosen One. In a world where reactions are often expected, where emotions are inflamed and arguments flare in a cycle of noise and chaos, the Chosen One has learned the most powerful secret of all restraint. In an environment where people mistake noise for power and confrontation for strength, the Chosen One's ability to remain silent becomes the most lethal weapon in their arsenal. It is a force far more potent than any loud protest, any fiery exchange, or any attempt at dominance. The Chosen One knows that the real battle is not fought in the loud moments, in the outbursts that claim attention, but in the quiet ones, the moments where one chooses to not engage, to not react, and to not fall into the trap of being dragged into the noise. This restraint is not weakness, it is a profound strength, a force that cuts through the bluster and leaves their adversary with nothing to argue against but their own ego. Silence speaks in a way that words never can. When the Chosen One remains calm, unaffected, and poised, it sends a clear message: I do not need to react to prove my worth. It is the ultimate form of control. In a world where everyone is trying to prove their dominance, the Chosen One refuses to play the game. And that refusal to participate, that silence, is more disruptive than any confrontation could ever be. Think about it. When someone is caught in the act of manipulation or deceit, they expect a reaction. They expect a defense, a confrontation, or an argument. They are prepared for a battle, and in many cases they feed off the energy of the conflict. But when the Chosen One steps back and refuses to engage, the manipulator is left with no argument to make. They cannot defend themselves because the Chosen One has robbed them of the opportunity to cast blame, to redirect the attention, or to create confusion. In that silence, the manipulator is exposed, not by accusation, but by their inability to control the situation. The Chosen One doesn't need to shout to call out their adversary or to argue their case. Their quiet strength becomes the most piercing statement of all. And in that moment, when the manipulator is left fumbling for a way to regain control, they are faced with the truth: they are no longer in charge. Their game has ended. Restraint in the face of chaos, silence in the midst of noise is the most powerful form of presence. The Chosen One doesn't need to play by the same rules as others. They don't need to engage in the back and forth, the drama, or the emotional turmoil. Instead, they harness their energy, control their response, and in doing so, they demonstrate a mastery over themselves and the situation. This is the essence of true power. It is not the ability to react to meet force with force, but the ability to remain unmoved in the face of it, to step aside and watch the illusion crumble on its own. Strategic evolution. As the Chosen One stands in this space of silent strength, something remarkable begins to happen. They outgrow their role. The very moment they stop playing by the manipulator's rules, when they stop engaging in the cycle of conflict and chaos, they enter into a new level of consciousness, one where they no longer need to prove their worth or defend their choices. They evolve. Their growth becomes a sign of clarity, a beacon of intentionality that highlights the true nature of the game they've been part of. This evolution isn't something that happens overnight. It is a gradual unfolding, a deepening of self-awareness, a sharpening of focus. The Chosen One begins to realize that the old patterns no longer serve them, that the role they once played in this cycle of manipulation, conflict, and control is no longer theirs to take up. They outgrow it, not in a way that creates conflict, but in a way that naturally pushes them beyond the reach of the old dynamics. And in this moment of evolution, the Chosen One's power only deepens. They no longer fit into the narrative others have created for them. They have transcended the old limitations, the old games, and are now playing by a completely different set of rules. Rules that come from within, not from external forces. Their evolution is not about defiance for the sake of defiance. It is not a rejection of others, but a quiet realization that they are no longer bound by the constraints placed on them. This is the moment when the manipulator begins to lose control. When the Chosen One evolves, they expose the manipulator for what they are. Someone who relies on outdated strategies and tactics. Someone who believes they can still control the game. The Chosen One's growth becomes a mirror reflecting the inadequacy of the manipulator's tactics. The manipulator, once able to push and pull with ease, now finds themselves facing an opponent who cannot be moved. And that realization is jarring, for the manipulator knows they are no longer in control. But the beauty of this evolution is that it doesn't require confrontation. The Chosen One doesn't need to directly challenge the manipulator. They don't need to explain their growth or announce their new perspective. Their evolution speaks for itself. It is in the stillness, in the absence of reaction, that the manipulator begins to question their own power. They begin to question their own worth. And the moment they do that, they begin to lose the game. Impact on the universe. As the Chosen One evolves, they break free from the chains of manipulation and control, not just in their personal relationships, but in the very fabric of the universe. The universe recognizes those who have the courage to step outside the old patterns, to break free from the cycles that keep people stuck in the same loops of behavior. The universe rewards the Chosen One for their growth, for their restraint, and for their unwavering commitment to stepping into their full potential. The shift that the Chosen One creates is not just a personal victory, it is a cosmic one. When they break free from the manipulative cycles, when they evolve into their highest self, they realign with the flow of the universe. Their actions, their choices, their very presence now serve as a beacon, a reminder to the universe of the power of restraint, of awareness, and of conscious evolution. This is where the real power of the Chosen One lies, in their ability to shift the balance of power without ever raising a hand. Their quiet strength, their ability to step away from the drama, from the chaos, and from the manipulation, creates a ripple effect that alters the course of their life and the lives of those around them. The universe, seeing the Chosen One step into their true power, aligns itself with their purpose. Opportunities begin to open, relationships begin to realign, and circumstances begin to shift in favor of the Chosen One. The universe rewards those who break free from the old cycles and step into their true potential. But this isn't about ego. The Chosen One's power isn't about claiming victory or asserting dominance over others. It's about stepping into alignment with the highest version of themselves, a version that is in harmony with the universe. And when that alignment occurs, the universe takes notice. It shifts the very environment around the Chosen One, opening doors that were once closed, creating opportunities that were once out of reach, and aligning circumstances to ensure that the Chosen One's path is supported and nurtured. This cosmic shift is subtle but undeniable. The universe doesn't need to announce its support. It simply aligns itself with the Chosen One's growth, providing the resources, the opportunities, and the guidance needed to continue moving forward. The Chosen One's quiet evolution becomes a catalyst for change, not just in their own life, but in the world around them. The aftermath. The aftermath of the Chosen One's quiet departure is a powerful shift in the dynamics of their life. The manipulator, once in control, now finds themselves exposed, unable to return to the old patterns. They are left to face the truth of their own behavior, to confront the reality that they no longer have power over the Chosen One. And this is where the universe steps in, providing a standing ovation for the Chosen One. Not for any loud victory or dramatic confrontation, but for their ability to remain calm, to step away, and to allow the universe to realign on its own. This standing ovation is not a physical one, but a cosmic one. It is the universe's way of acknowledging the Chosen One's strength, their clarity, and their unwavering commitment to their own truth. The manipulator may try to move on, may try to fill the void left by the Chosen One's absence, but they will never be able to replace what they lost. The Chosen One's quiet power is irreplaceable, and the universe knows this. It rewards those who refuse to participate in the chaos, who choose to evolve beyond the old patterns and create something new. The aftermath is not about what the Chosen One left behind. It is about what they have stepped into. As they move forward, the universe aligns with their path, ensuring that their growth continues, that their potential is realized, and that their journey is supported. And in this alignment, the Chosen One becomes an unstoppable force, not because they are fighting against anyone, but because they are in harmony with the flow of the universe. The standing ovation is not just a recognition of their quiet victory, it is the universe's way of saying, "Well done, Chosen One. You have embraced your true power, and now the world will shift to support you." In this quiet aftermath, the Chosen One understands that the true victory lies not in the battle won, but in the quiet evolution that led to it. The manipulator may never fully understand the power they lost, but the Chosen One knows one thing for sure. Their power was never about the fight. It was always about the quiet strength that led them to walk away. And that, in the end, is the most powerful move of all. In the intricate dance of life, where every move seems scrutinized, every word weighed, and every action judged, there lies an extraordinary power in stillness. The Chosen One has walked this path, not by engaging in the struggle, but by stepping out of it altogether. It is the quiet retreat, the strategic withdrawal, and the profound silence that carries the most potent force. These actions, seemingly simple, have reshaped the course of their destiny, realigned their purpose, and earned them the highest recognition from the universe itself. The Chosen One didn't need to fight. They didn't need to clash swords or engage in emotional battles. They simply needed to stop playing the game that others had written for them. They stopped reacting to the manipulations, the expectations, and the traps set before them. Instead of getting caught up in the noise, they chose the path of restraint and awareness. And in doing so, they found their true power not in fighting back, but in stepping away with clarity, dignity, and purpose. Their absence is not just the physical act of leaving. It is the loudest statement they could have made. When they left, they did not just exit a room, they left behind a void that shook the very foundations of their adversaries. Their silence became the loudest voice in the room. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, recognizes that silence is a form of victory that few can master. The Chosen One did not shout to claim their power. They simply removed themselves from the equation, and in doing so, their true strength was revealed. The standing ovation from the universe was not a celebration of battle, but of the courage it takes to walk away from what no longer serves, from what tries to bind, and from what tries to control. This is the great truth that the Chosen One has uncovered, that often the strongest form of resistance is non-resistance. The greatest form of engagement is disengagement. And the most profound form of victory is found not in confrontation, but in the quiet realization of one's own worth, power, and purpose. The Chosen One is not simply someone who stands in a crowd. They are the one who stands alone, fully aware of their own strength, fully aligned with their truth, and fully aware that their silence speaks louder than any words could ever do. The actions of the Chosen One prove something fundamental. The universe responds to those who honor their own truth, who walk their path with integrity, and who have the courage to let go of what no longer serves them. The applause of the universe is not for those who scream the loudest, but for those who remain calm, composed, and steadfast in their purpose. And this applause is not fleeting. It is the eternal recognition that you, the chosen one, have walked the path of wisdom, clarity, and power, and now the universe itself is aligning to support you on this journey. Empowerment. Now the message shifts to you, the viewer, the seeker, the one who recognizes the power in stillness. The story of the chosen one is not just a tale of someone else's victory. It is a blueprint for your own personal transformation. You too have moments in your life when silence, restraint, and strategic withdrawal can reclaim your power. Too often we are taught to engage in conflict, to prove our worth, and to fight for what is ours. But what if the true power is in walking away when the game no longer serves you? What if instead of fighting to be heard, you allowed your actions and your absence to speak louder than words? In moments of confusion, chaos, and uncertainty, remember that you do not need to join the fray. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is step back and observe. Observe the patterns, the dynamics, the plays that others are making. When you detach from the noise, you gain clarity. When you refuse to participate in the drama, you allow space for your own truth to rise to the surface. You may not realize it in the moment, but every time you choose silence over engagement, every time you choose restraint over reaction, you are building a power within you that is quiet, subtle, and yet unstoppable. Your ability to step away with purpose is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of your strength and wisdom. You are not abandoning anything. You are reclaiming your energy. You are recalibrating your path, aligning yourself with the frequency of the universe, and stepping into a space of quiet but undeniable power. The strength you carry is not in your ability to fight battles. It is in your ability to choose not to fight when you know that the situation no longer serves you. There will be times in your life when others will try to pull you back into old patterns, old cycles, and old roles. They will expect you to react, to fight, to argue, and to engage in the drama that they create. But remember, you are the chosen one. You have already outgrown the game they are playing. You no longer need to prove anything. Your power is not in your ability to engage, but in your ability to walk away with your dignity intact and your purpose unwavering. Every time you choose silence over conflict, you are standing in your power. Every time you choose clarity over chaos, you are aligning yourself with the universe's plan for you. And every time you let go of what no longer serves you, you make room for something greater to emerge. The universe rewards those who honor themselves, who trust in their own inner wisdom, and who have the courage to evolve beyond their current circumstances. Just like the chosen one, you have the power to rewrite your own story. Not with loud declarations, but with quiet strength, strategic withdrawal, and unwavering purpose. Now, as you reflect on the journey of the chosen one, I invite you to see yourself in this narrative. When was the last time you made a quiet exit from a situation that no longer served you? When did you last choose silence over noise, restraint over reaction, and stillness over chaos? These are the moments when you reclaim your true power. Take a moment now to reflect on the ways you can apply this wisdom in your own life. When faced with conflict, manipulation, or confusion, how can you step back and observe with a calm and clear mind? How can you choose silence over engagement and trust in the power of your own presence to shift the dynamics? Recognize that you have the ability to create these moments of transformation in your own life, not through fighting, but through observing, evolving, and stepping into your highest truth. I invite you to share your thoughts and reflections on this journey. What moments in your life have tested your ability to remain silent, to withdraw, and to allow the universe to realign on its own? Declare your alignment with this wisdom and recognize your own moments of quiet power. You are part of the same force that moves the chosen one, observant, restrained, and transformative. Your path is one of observation, evolution, and ultimate transformation. You are the chosen one in your own life, and now it's time for you to step fully into that truth. Leave a comment below, not for algorithms or trends, but as a declaration of your readiness to embrace your own power. Let the universe know that you are stepping into your highest self, that you are aligning with your true purpose, and that you are ready to let go of what no longer serves you. Share this message with others, because you never know who might need to hear this reminder of their own quiet strength. The Chosen One's path is one of quiet transformation, but it is also a path that leads to the ultimate victory. The victory of self-awareness, self-control, and self-alignment. You are on this journey too. It's time to walk it with confidence, clarity, and a knowing that every step you take is in perfect alignment with the universe's plan for you. Stand in your truth and let the universe reward you with the standing ovation you deserve. Your time is